the Women Unleashed podcast. Join us as we share with you the confronting, fun, wild, fucked up, epic, and raw side of being a woman in today's world.
Come along on our journey as we dive deeply into what makes us tick and how we create our lives. Nothing is off limits. Welcome to the Women Unleashed podcast. I am your co-host, Britt, and Taylor's with me today. And as always, we're super pumped to be here and sharing with you. And today we've got a bit of an edgy one. It's the theme is, being a stepchild. What's that really like? The upsides, the not so upsides, and we might even venture into step parenting as well.
Yeah.
We'll see how we go. So, Taylor, give us the lay of the land, like the who, the what of your child, stepchild situation. You're not a stepchild. You don't have one, but you are one.
Yes.
So am I. Go for it.
Yeah, so I, my dad and mum separated when I was about 3, and my dad met someone else, I think when I was maybe about 5 or 6, and they were together for a long time, and they had my brother. And then my mum also remarried maybe when I was like 9 or 10. But they had been together for a while, and she remarried, and then they had my sister as well.
Cool. And how old is your sister?
So she's 17 now. Mm-hmm. But we had 11 years between us when she was born.
Wow.
So bit of a gap. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And how old is your brother?
I think he's 21 now. He'll be 20.
What a big year for him.
Yeah.
Classically a big number. Cool. And what was it like for you when your brother was born? Because you would have been like 8 or 7?
Yeah. It was good. I didn't spend as much time with my dad, so I spent more time with my mum, so I probably wasn't there as much for him growing up, just because of the time that I had with each parent. Mm-hmm. But it was cool having
experience of finding out that you were going to get a brother.
Yeah, it was very exciting. I think it's very hard to remember back then, but yeah, I was excited, obviously unsure what would that look like or what would that mean for me.
Yeah.
Being an only child.
Not anymore.
And yeah, we're just excited. I mean, I did have also 2 stepsisters too, who were also his sisters. So,
half sisters, yeah.
So yeah, I guess it was just exciting, and there's lots of anticipation as to what it would be like to have a brother. So yeah,
cool. And there was obviously a lot of time had passed then between when your brother arrived and then when your sister arrived, which is on the other side of your family, on your mum's side. What was that like?
That was cool. That was really exciting, and as I said, I was around them a bit more, so I had a lot more to do with my sister. But yeah, I loved it, and she was so cute and super. It was super fun to look after her and be around her and watch her grow up into a little girl, and now she's driving, so it's crazy. Yeah. She was so cute, and she had the best little cackle as a baby. If you tickled her inside of her legs, she had this cackle, and it was just so cute. I just remember it was like the best sound you could ever hear. So yeah, that was cool. It was also, like I said, a bit unknown, being an only child and then having another child come in, and obviously her needs were very different to mine, and just navigating and getting used to someone else, I guess, taking the attention away.
Yes.
But it was totally worth it. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Really cool. Yeah, I was really pumped when my brother came on the scene. I was just like over the moon. Over the moon. Yeah, so I guess talk about it. I mean, you have shared on the podcast about you have shared a bit before, but maybe just... Yep. I think my parents split when I was about 2, and I had an older sister. She was about 2 years older than me. And then my mum remarried and had my little brother when I was 7. And then my dad also remarried and had my little sister when I think she's 12 this year. I'm 28. So is that 16? Yeah, that's about right. Quick math. I just turned 29 actually. Forgot that. Oops. And yeah, with my little brother, oh man, my sister and I were like pumped. We were just like, you mean we've got a real live doll to play with? I was always putting my hand up for the nappies, you know? I just like, that was like my pride and joy. It was like, I can be responsible. I can be independent. I can be a mom. I can change nappies.
So grown up.
I know. Really loved it. It was cool. So yeah, really love him. He's a champion. So I spent a lot more time with him when he was a baby than what I did with my sister, because I wasn't really living with them at that point when she was born. So yeah, there was definitely a bit of like distance initially, and I still love her like so much, but yeah, I just haven't spent as much time because I was a lot older when she was born, and kind of at that late teen stage when you're like, I guess, just pushing the boundaries and like finding out what it is to be an adult, and like sort of maybe not being at home as much or not being as family oriented. But yeah, she's so funny. She's giggly, she's laughy, she's high energy. She's the most flexible human being I've ever met, you know?
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, she's super cool. And I also have a step brother and sister that my second dad, he remarried, and she already had 2 children, and they are so cool, like really cool, really very funny, and yeah, like it's really cool. It's a Brady Bunch family. Yeah,
awesome. That's really cool.
So what was it like at Christmas time with all these families? What was your Christmas day like?
So generally we would do Christmas on, Christmas off. So it would be one with my mum and her husband, or one with my dad. But unfortunately over the years it just got to just doing with my mum. I didn't see my dad as much over Christmas. So we would kind of swap between my stepdad's parents and or family, his mum and sisters and brother, and then my family, because they lived in New South Wales, so it was a bit of a drive, so we kind of didn't want to drive on Christmas Day, so we'd do Boxing Day with either family and then the opposite the next year.
Yeah, cool.
So that was pretty cool. Lots of different kind of dynamics as to what would happen on Christmas Day, but super, my stepdad's family were beautiful and treated me just like, you know, their own granddaughter or daughter. So that was cool, and they were, yeah, it was really nice. And then obviously my family with my mum's, they're always just extravagant and lots of food and drinking, and they're really great too. I love Christmas. It's like one of my favorite time of the year with my family. So yeah, it was really great. And then the Christmases that I did have with my dad were, we generally would have a caravan park, at a caravan park, and we'd stay down there for a few weeks.
Okay, so you'd kind of already be on holidays, and yeah, cool. So you'd have a bit more of an on-location Christmas.
Yeah. So that was probably earlier years. Yeah, for a while we'd do that. So that was, wasn't I didn't like the caravanning, but okay, being around people.
You didn't like the caravanning, Taylor?
No, I'm not really a camper.
Shock. Horror.
I know, it's crazy to think that.
Oh, you're so funny. Well,
what about you, Brett?
My Christmases were, the reason I love them now is because of the way they were when I was a kid, which was that I got to see all my people on Christmas Day. It was nuts because I'd do half the day I did the morning with mum and the evening or after lunch with dad, I think. That was the... And so, you know, everyone would make their plans so that we could be there. You know, everyone... like you sort of mentioned how, you know, one off, one on, or at the dad's side and then at your mum's side of the family. And like, so in amongst all of that happening, like already, then they added us in the mix, and it was like, you know, everyone tried to do their schedule so that we could be there. It was pretty full on, you know, like lots of driving and stuff. But, you know, I'd wake up in the morning and, you know, there'd be a massive bag of presents, and that was just the Santa sack, you know, and then there was like stuff under the tree, and so you'd just have this big like unwrapping fest with my sister and my little brother and my mum and my stepdad, and then like we'd go to his parents' place and have the first lunch, you know, and you're having it like going, okay, I know I've got to conserve some stuff here, because the second lunch at my dad's place, the Italian lunch, is just going to be epic, you know, like like a monstrous. So we'd finish that, and then dad would pick us up, and we'd be just like so eager, and everyone was so happy to see us, and then we get all these presents again, and it was like being a stepchild. You got, or a half child or whatever, like I just got at least 3 sets of presents because I had at least 3 sets of a family. So I definitely didn't grow up without, even though I would like...
Me either.
Yeah, even though like I definitely complained that like, you know, I didn't have enough money to buy like really fancy horses. That was just me being a shithead. But like I definitely didn't go without, you know, I was showered with gifts all over the place. Way too much. And birthdays were similar with the amount of gifts that I would get. However, birthdays were a bit different as I got older and was able to choose. I had the experience of like, you know, like the competition, like who can get in first. And I decided that I would have this rule, like, you know, whoever gets to me first and organises something first gets me on my birthday night. And that then ended up just being one particular family because they were like super organised. But it was the only way, like, because I didn't know I could really choose. I was just, so it was just the only way I could sort of organise myself. But I really didn't like that experience of like having to choose between family on my birthday. And as a result of that, like in my early mid 20s, I then chose to do it with my friends instead and have no family, and then do family like on other days around my birthday. I think it was a bit of like a defiant, I'm going to do it my way.
I get that.
Yeah, so that's what it was like for me.
Awesome. Sounds pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so, like, what else would you share? Like, if you were to meet, you know, let's say a 10-year-old, right? And they're a stepchild. What would you say to them?
What would I say to a 10-year-old stepchild? Just that probably, well, to any child that they loved.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, you know, they're just as much the family as anybody else. Like, even though they're blended, and that their parents not being together doesn't mean anything or mean anything about them. Because I think sometimes children make it, you know, you're still a baby, and or if, you know, you're younger when parents split, you kind of make it that it's your fault somehow, just because your brain hasn't developed enough to understand some of the logic behind. So I would say I'd probably and just enjoy it and have fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love what you said there about, you know, that your parents aren't together anymore means nothing about them.
Yeah.
Because that would just be, like, I wanted to trash my life because I made my parents' divorce mean something about me.
Yeah.
I was on the way to trashing my life, you know, to get back at them. What a dumb piece of shit thing to do. But that's just what I made it mean, you know, that I'm worthless, that I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
That my parents aren't together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When really, that they're not together is all there is.
That is it, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you, Britt? What would you say to a 10-year-old? What would you say to your 10-year-old self?
My 10-year-old self. One, it means, like, your parents really love you. Like, yeah, and that they're not together means nothing about you. And they're doing the best they can with what they know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would tell that to every child, that their parents are doing the best they can with what they know.
Yeah.
And to every bonus parent or step parent, I prefer the term bonus parent. It's way more empowering. Yeah, that every step parent's also doing the best they can. Like, I'm now a bonus parent, and I've not been a biological parent. And yeah, there's like, I don't know what it's like to love your own child. I've never had a child of my own. I don't really know what it's like to want anything and everything for them. You know? I'm developing that through a love for them. And I so love them. And when that, you know, they love me so much back, and it's super cool, you know? Like, yeah. They're really, really amazing humans. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Cool.
In a long roundabout way.
Awesome. And obviously you shared you're a step parent too. I'm sure that's been amazing, and it's obviously come with some challenges learning to be a parent. As you said, you've never been a parent before. So
yeah, like learning to be the kind of parent I want to be. So, and I think that comes back to the journey that I'm on, which is discovering how to be me.
Yeah.
Or not how to be me, but discovering that there's a me here. And I spent a lot of my life existing in what other people thought about me rather than my own thoughts and opinions about me. So doing that on top of, being a parent and discovering how I want to parent, not just playing it safe and doing it the same way that their dad does, you know, because like I'm not their dad and I will have my own unique relationship with them. So yeah, it's definitely been the hardest and most rewarding thing, the relationship and the bonus parenting and
Amazing. All right, well, I think we can wrap it up.
Awesome.
So thank you everyone for listening, and have fun sharing what you've gotten for yourself out of listening to this episode. Our goal is for our content to reach as many people as possible and become the #1 women empowerment podcast in Australia. Please subscribe, share, and leave a review. Bye.
Bye.